Greetings, friends around the world. Here is my ultimate, as of this date, argument against Joshua Phillips and his video documentary about the origin of the Wuhan flu virus. And he postulates that it came from the laboratory at Wuhan. And I hasten to point out that there are several such laboratories around the world. I just learned that there was one in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, apparently, if I'm not mistaken. But here's my argument. Here's my final best argument against Joshua Phillips' idea that the Chinese deliberately created a bioweapon at this lab in Wuhan. I'll say it again for clarity. Here's my best argument against Joshua Phillips' theory that the Chinese deliberately created a bioweapon. When we can get enough data to derive an estimate of the number of people that were infected in the United States this year, or perhaps this year and next year, the total number of people who were infected, many of whom had no symptoms, and many of whom had mild symptoms. When we get an estimate of the number of people who were infected by this virus, and we have a total count of people who were actually killed by this virus, putting aside all the chicanery, all the inflated numbers, people who actually died from the virus, not from unrelated pneumonia or old age or complications of heart disease. When we get the actual number who died, divide that by the best estimate of the number of people infected, we will find the mortality rate. We will find an estimate of the mortality rate. And I bet you it'll be in the neighborhood of the seasonal flu, less than 1%. Here's my best argument against Joshua Phillips' theory that this is a bioweapon. If it is a bioweapon, there are a whole lot of other ways to take more lives than this. This is puny. You're going to unleash a bioweapon on your enemy that kills less than 1% of the population. That's not very effective. If you're spending lots and lots of money to create a bioweapon, your efforts are misdirected. You should try something else. Undoubtedly, the people in the lab at Wuhan were looking to create a vaccine or a countermeasure of some kind to deal with the repetitive epidemics that come out of China as a result of having human contact with animals who are hosts to various viruses which constantly mutate. And another side point is that biological labs, genetic labs, are not the only place where recombinant DNA takes place. Mother Nature does it all the time. That's why we have to have new vaccines against new strains of viruses. They mutate constantly. So I know we can do it in the lab, but Mother Nature can do it as well and does it all the time. Does it every day. Did it yesterday, will do it tomorrow. And I kind of think that that's part of the mystery of how we got here. Uh, Random mutations, any mutation that confers a trait on the organism that enables it to better survive, allows that organism to produce offspring who produce offspring, and any of them less able to survive will decrease in numbers and probably go extinct. That's what I'd like to say to Joshua Phillips. I'll repeat. If this is a bioweapon, it's not very effective. Try harder. Do something else. Maybe invent a, I don't know, maybe use something like Ebola, okay? Try harder.